Tonight, a Sunday shattered by gun violence in two separate incidents in Columbus. The first around 2:30 this afternoon at a gas station near Linden. We traveled to Cleveland to meet with more of those former wrestlers. They not only claim they were abused by Dr. Richard Strauss, they say a number of people within the athletic department and administration knew exactly what was going on, including former assistant coach and Congressman Jim Jordan, who continues to deny any knowledge. All eyes this morning on President Trump. People across the country are wondering who he plans to nominate to replace retiring Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. That announcement is expected on Monday. Caitlin Collins has that story. Police are sending out a major warning for folks around the OSU campus after a violent armed robbery. Investigators telling us they want to make sure that no one else becomes a target.
Okay, I admit, I'm an old fogey. I remember way back, in the 1900s when you would slip a few quarters in an arcade machine and play for a few minutes until you got, gobbled up. Nowadays, kids are high-tech with their video games.
Happening tomorrow, the trial is set to start for a Columbus man accused of gunning down his own friend. The victim in this case, Terrence Winston, was shot and killed just days before Mother's Day this year. We spoke with his mother about how the family was trying to come to terms with all of it. This morning, Congressman Jim Jordan says that he is willing to meet with investigators looking into allegations of abuse by a former OSU team doctor.
And the congressman.
People living along South Warren Avenue say the problems have gotten out of hand, so they turned to 6 on Your Side for help. Rob Wells is live in the Hilltop to explain all of it tonight. This is how this law breaks down for a lot of folks who may not understand it. Basically, for these dancers who dance here each and every night, they're not allowed to touch these customers. But of course, for somebody like Stormy Daniels, who is just making a guest appearance, she does not fall under that law. And evacuees are getting little warning about all of this, where strong winds are making these fires totally unpredictable. It's something that most people probably never even consider. When you freely give up your DNA to these companies, what can it be used for? Who can get their hands on it? Can it be used to look into your medical history? And what about connections to crimes? Well, in one case, it was used to look up a woman's birth family, an invasion of privacy that she never expected. Cupping therapy is in the spotlight nowadays, but it's actually been around for centuries. Now, we spoke with clients and the experts to get a bit of insight into what it's all about. It certainly appears to be a black eye for the department. What may come as a surprise tonight, Stormy Daniels says it was all just a mistake, and she's ready to move on. They say they've been warning the management at the Mayfair Village Apartments for months about that ceiling that was caving in and other problems with their apartment, and nothing has been done. Our investigative team has been looking into issues with the owners of this property for months now, and this is just the latest problem.
It hurts. It hurts very bad. I have to wear this every day, all day. My head stay in one spot.
Anthony Barnes is in pretty bad shape.
It's something in my head that's hurting. My whole head hurts. It runs from my head to my neck.
The intense headaches, the pain shooting through his body, all of it the result of this. The ceiling of his Columbus apartment literally collapsing right on top of him.
Everybody in Mayfair have been having issues like this, and nobody's been listening.
That's why Lanaya Dickerson came straight to us, sending these snapshots of Barnes and a friend in the hospital just days ago. The two men actually in the process of moving things out when all of this came down.
And then you can see how skinny the nails are. This fell on both of them. And it's it's heavy. It knocked them out.
Turns out the owners of the property, AMG Realty Group based in Illinois, has a history of issues. Listed by code enforcement as one of the area's worst landlords. Nearly half of their properties issued different violations, from bad lighting fixtures to damage to bathroom floors and kitchen walls. Just this past January, investigator Tara Morgan pressing them for answers on problems.
And she said we don't do any comments.
She doesn't even know what it's about.
Months later, management still not talking.
But we don't make any comments.
Really?
I'll be right with you.
This leasing agent telling me she's new and hadn't heard about troubles at the complex. But she sure looks like the same person we spoke with about this 6 months ago.
I don't think people should be treated like that, because if we're paying you our money every month, I feel like everything should be fixed. I guess they don't feel the same.
This couple simply hoping to sound the alarm, warning folks to stay away from Mayfair Village and urging management to clean the place up.
You putting other people's life in jeopardy. It could have been kids there. It could have failed. And then it would have been a whole nother ball game. I just don't understand. They need to get their priorities right.
And Columbus Code Enforcement tells us that some landlords simply have too many properties and don't have the resources or maintenance team to keep up with all of the issues they're having. Tenants we spoke with at Mayfair Village certainly don't believe much work is getting done there. Bob?
It's dark at night and it's hard to see. There's never a light where it's supposed to be.
You may have seen the commercials about the Everbright solar-powered motion light.
Introducing Everbright, the new wireless solar-powered light that turns on at night.
The popular product sold online and in stores across the country.
It was really, really scary. God was looking after us. That's all I can say.
What you may not be aware of, the product's growing list of complaints following spontaneous fires.
This is where it was.
Peggy Roach of Delaware showing us where a spark lit up the side of her garage immediately after she took down the unit on her home.
And you actually have the battery. This is the battery on the inside that kind of caught fire?
That must be what flew out of the thing, I would say. It just disintegrated the unit. There was nothing there except what you see here on the ground and in my hand.
We did some digging. Turns out this is a problem being seen across the country. Numerous online customer complaints of fires. One person stating, "Almost burnt my house down." Fire investigators in South Euclid determined that a house fire there last year was caused by an exploding battery from an Everbright unit. We contacted the New Jersey-based maker of the Everbright. We're still waiting on a response. The company has released a standard statement to several consumer groups regarding concerns, saying in part, the Everbright light meets or exceeds all safety regulations required by law for this type of product in the USA.
And I guess you would advise anybody if they have these on their home right now?
I'd take it down. And then don't leave it sitting out in the sunlight. You need to get rid of it, dispose of it, maybe take it to the fire department and let them decide what to do with it.
Roach has already filed a report with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. She hopes the issue is fixed before someone loses their home or worse.
I don't like to put anybody out of business, but it's not worth someone's life to do that. And they need to do something about this. I'm not asking for anything from that company. I just think they need to quit marketing it.
And we have learned over the past few years there have been a number of complaints to the Consumer Product Safety Commission over this product, but at this point, no recalls have been issued.
The pressure, unimaginable. The skill it takes behind the wheel, world class.
All right, here we go.
We were given an opportunity not many get. A view of the action behind the wheel. IndyCar legend Mario Andretti taking us on an exclusive ride around the Mid-Ohio track.
It never gets old. Otherwise I wouldn't do it,
Consider this, 90 laps, more than 203 miles. The Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio, one of the sport's premier races. Sunday's race, one of the season's most challenging.
It's very intense, no question. There's so much at stake.
This, what you call heart-stopping. Precision needed for each and every turn. This race also special for fans right here in Ohio. Local great Graham Rahal returning to the track where he had a memorable win back in 2015. Andretti telling us no matter who comes out on top, fans will get one heck of a show.
Everybody wants to win. There's only going to be one winner, but you always strive for that, no matter what. Going in, that's your job. That's your aim, to win that race.